Hey guys, Do It Your Way Corner again here today. We're working on the 2008 Ford Taurus again. So I got a headlight out over here. These have LED headlights that I threw in here, so I'm not sure if the module is bad or not, but I don't want to just order one if it isn't that, because these can get expensive. These are relatively cheap, but just in case this helps somebody troubleshoot their headlights, again, Ford Taurus 2008. I did a scan on the vehicle using my X-Tool A30D. It's a sweet little module, about 150 bucks. Check it out if you haven't seen these. But basically, I did a scan on the smart junction box. There's a self-test that you can do, and I'm getting this code here. It says right front lamp low beam circuit open. So I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot this really quick. And I know you can just throw a headlight in and test it, but this is for somebody who's got a wiring issue, okay? So come along, let's see what we find. All right, so here's what I can tell based on the schematic. Again, we're looking at the smart junction box here. So here's my headlamp switch. Let me move this so you can see it. Headlamp switch inside the car. So we've got fog lights. That's what this switch is for. You got the fog light indicator, which is over here. Then our illumination for the cluster. And then our different modes for the headlight switch. So off. What happens is this smart junction box throws a 5-volt reference or a 12-volt reference is what I've been able to gather through service data through each one of these lines. So at any given point, one of these has to be going to ground so that this thing doesn't throw a code or give you an issue. So right now, if it's in the off position, it's going to travel through here and it's going to short it to ground. So basically that's always going to be going to ground unless we switch it to a different location. So if we're looking at low beams, we're looking here at the park and the low. Actually, I should say just the low. So what this does is when I flip this switch here, it's going to pull this circuit down. It's going to pull it down to ground. Now what happens is once it pulls it to ground, it's going to send a signal through the microprocessor, which is here. Again, this is in the smart junction box. Sorry about that. This is in the smart junction box. So a microprocessor is going to send a signal here that's going to switch this field effect transistor on, which is going to bring 12 volts down through here, eventually down to here. It's going to ignite the low beam, and it's going to bring it to ground. Now, if I decided to use the high beams, it would be the same thing here. You're going to have a signal that sends a signal through the high beams. So right now, my left is working perfectly fine, which tells me the smart junction box is probably good safe assumption. We're going to be looking here. The connector that I'm trying to find is C1285. I'm going to be looking at pins 6, 7, and 4. So 6 is going to be our signal. That's going to be the signal for the low beam. This will be for the high beam, which we're not concerned about right now. And then we're looking for 4, which is going to be our ground. So let's get that connector up. And here's a view of that connector. So 7, 6, and 4. 4 is going to be our ground. 6 is going to be the pin we're looking for. And then eventually, see if we can bring this up so you can see it. Again, 4 is going to be our ground. Sorry about that. 4 is going to be our ground. 6, which is here, is going to be our signal. And then we're not worried about the high beam right now. So we're just going to go and we're going to check some grounds and positive signals to see what's going on. Okay, so like I mentioned, here's the connector view. Here's the connector down in the car. So right now, 6 is going to be my red pin. Yellow, which is going to be number 4, which is going to be my ground pin. Sorry, it's going out of focus. So basically, these are just jumper leads. I'm going to use a probe, and we're just going to test these circuits. So give me 1 second. Okay, so right now I have my probe hooked up to my ground pin. I'm going to take the other lead. Going to go to my positive. So that's telling me I got a good ground. So next thing I want to do is check my positive. Again, we're going to ground to the battery, but let's disconnect our probe first. Ground to the battery. Bring this test lead over. Hold on 1 second. Okay, we're hooked up to our 12 volts, but this is a switch 12. So I've got light. It's bright out here today. Again, I'm ground into the battery. Negative. Test light's working. Tells me my signal is good. So my guess is the LED module is bad. So we're going to replace that, and we'll see what happens. We'll be back. All right, I just got done replacing the LED. I'm going to do a system scan just to see what's going on. So again, I'm using my X tool scanner. Let's see if we can get this up for you. There we go. This is a Ford. Just got to initialize with the system. Do an automatic. It's a Taurus. It's 2008. We're going to do a system selection, not a scan. We're going to be looking at the generic electronic module of the smart junction box. So on Fords, we're going to do a component self-test. So that's where we read the DTCs. So you can see it's performing an auto component self-checking process. It's going to turn on the lights, directionals, all these different things. So when we ran it before, we got that error code B2A2E, I believe is what we had. Right now we have no DTCs found, so we're good. Hopefully if this video helped you, a subscribe or a like would be great. I know it wasn't too extensive, but I wanted to keep this simple and just, show you how to diagnose a headlight that may have a wiring issue. In my case, it wasn't. It was just the LED bulb. Put in a new one. We're good to go. So you guys have a great one. We'll see you next time. Hey, some bonus footage. So I took out my LED headlight, and if you look really closely, you can see that one of the LEDs is actually burnt. Well, not burnt, but it failed. You can see the wafer, top of the wafer actually came off. So this is why it had a bluish tint to it, because one of them wasn't lit, but the other two were. So I don't know if any of you are going to find that interesting at all, but that's what your headlights work like when they have LEDs in them, all right? See ya.